Good afternoon, darlings. We are the eve of Ishtar Easter Day, and the sun has just entered Aries. Today is my son's 39th birthday, and when he was 33, the age of Christ, in 2019, so that's 6 years ago, when Notre Dame fell on the 15th of April, and then on the 19th of April, it was my son's birthday. Mars was on Aldebaran. Mars was where Jupiter is now. Let's go back to 2019. There's Mars right on the bullseye. And then on the 21st, Easter Day, my dog Happy was sacrificed as the Lupercali priest sacrifice a dog and an alpha male. So that was my Chiron return, and that was a huge awakening. And I'm just, now I'm about to go into my second Saturn return, but everything in life is cycles. So tomorrow is Easter Day in our village. I just went to open it up. So this is the poster for tomorrow. So normally there are between 8 and 10 bulls killed. Venus is the cycle of every 8 years, the 5-pointed star. Our village is the 5-pointed star. And you see that this year they have put the rose. They don't normally always put the rose, but here, as Venus is risen, I last spoke to you for the full pink moon last week, and then the day after, I didn't realize, but we had Kate Perry in outer space, and this is what we're going to cover today. It's all very important. So 2016, that is always for this summer solstice, this passage. Now Venus takes over the passage of the summer solstice on the 216. So 2016 was very important. 2016 to 2019 is 3 years. That is the third house, Gemini, ruled by Mercury. And now from 2019, the killing of my dog, the falling of Notre Dame, and now we are at 6 years from 2019 to now. Sixth house is Virgo. Kate Perry went into the sky on the full moon, on a full pink moon, as Mars entered Cancer. That's red in water of the moon that makes pink. So you've got this baby blue, baby pink, pedophile colors, which is the Vesica Pisces passage, which I'll be showing you. We're going to get to that. And so we've got 3-6, that's 36, the wheel, 363 years from 2016 to 2019, which was the opening of coronavirus. That is the feminine axis of the mutable cross of Jupiter and Mercury. And now Mick Jagger, the day after I did the video for you last week, I see that Mick Jagger is engaged to a woman called Melanie Hamrick. I'll be showing you what that means, who is 37. And 37 backwards is L. And I showed you that Mick Jagger showed up for the film awards, can't remember which one it was, and the Spanish film El Mal, the evil lives or something. El Mal, that this is Venus, this is Lucifer, this is the dark side rising. L is L. So we have that woman in France who was who was raped by 51 men, and she won her case, and she's become a feminist icon. So in France, the biggest icons at the moment are Gisèle Petit, we'll come to her name, but Gisèle is G. G is the 7th letter. It's the L 7L, G7, G is L, Giselle. So I'll be taking you, but she has the short red hair, just like in The Fifth Element, the film, The Fifth Element, because we're at the fifth element. This is the rose. This is the rose. This is Jack. This is Mick Jagger. Marianne Faithfull died on the day of the crash. We saw Venus from Symbols of an Alien Sky in the sky shown to us. And Marianne Faithfull died on that day. And now on the day of the full moon, as Kate Perry goes off into the sky, in, you know, the daisy represents Mercury. This is a salt, sulfur, Mercury. This is the three stages where the heart, Cupid, the third house, goes up to heaven and then falls back down to earth in an egg for Ishtar Day. So it's the name of the rose. This is the golden dawn. This is Jack and Rose in the Titanic. This is Michael Jackson and Diana. This is Mick Jagger and his new wife, 37. So I'm not sure. Marianne Faithfull may well have been 37 too when he met her. I don't know, but she sings the song in Thelma and Louise, the ballad of Lucy Jordan, the new NILE Jordan line. And in that song, she says, at the age of 37, and now he's about to marry another woman, 37. Where I live is Jazz and Marciac, JM. We are in the 32nd apartment at the 322, where tomorrow they will kill these bulls, the Matador, Merlin, next to Gemini, Mercury, and Venus, as Mercury and Venus are conjunct to Saturn. And Saturn will move into Pisces tomorrow. So Mars has moved into Cancer. Let's go and have a look at all this. I mean, it's just so enormous. That's why I had to come back to you today. So here is the sun, and the sun is, so that was in 2019. Mars was on Aldebaran. Jupiter was on the knee, right on the sting of Scorpio. That was for that. Saturn was here. Then we had the conjunction the year after. So we had the Saturn moon, and then we had coronavirus. So that 2019 was the opening of the preparation of Saturn to move into Capricorn. And now we have the leaving as Saturn leaves his domicile. So there's been a pretty horrible time from 2019 to now. And now they're going to bring in the hero. That's what I've been telling you. So at the same time, they've got Trump destroying America, the true Twin Peaks. And so 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, just go back to now. Okay, so this is right now, the 19th of April, and the moon is right on in Sagittarius. So interesting, this week they are preparing, Lupiac is the 12th preferred village of the French in France to represent the 12 main departments in France. So 12th is Pisces. It's the last door out, the 12th door. And so the French television company's been in the village to film D'Artagnan, Lupiac, just after we've had Romulus and Remus come up, Rome, and Lupiac is being prepared. Right. So there's quite strong energy building up for this Tauros, this corrida. The corrida is the corps, the body of Ida. So this is, this is not Christ. They're rising, they're putting Rose on the cross, the body of Ida, the corrida, the core of Ida. So that is the same thing. It's the gut. It comes from the gut, the floor, the flora, the flower, the daisy she held. Daisy represents the sun and the moon, and daisy is Mercury. So you've got sun, sulfur, moon, salt, and Mercury all in that daisy. And Mercury rules Gemini, the 3rd house, and the 6th house, Virgo. They're merging this pink and blue, should be red and blue, the torso feel. Russell Brand is falling, disgraced as Kate Perry. I think they went out together. I don't really ever know. It's like Kate Perry just reminds me of this Taylor Swift personality. You know, Kate Perry, Kate means pure, Perry means the pair. It's the hourglass. This is the Holy Grail. This is this passage that we're going through. And Kate Perry is KP. KP chips, to get your chip to be chipped. And K is like, it's Pollux and Castor. CP. So C is either pronounced K, K, P. Anyway, we're going to get to that. So today, right now, as I speak to you, the moon is in Sagittarius, and tomorrow we are going to have the moon, which will then move for the last quarter moon right next to Pluto, and that's Ishtar. That's the queen of heaven. I showed you the egg, and here is Saturn now in Pisces so as I talk to you right now, Saturn is already in Pisces. Oh my goodness gracious. So all of us born 1968, we are all the Saturn in Pisces generation, and we are about to have our Saturn returns. So the sun has just moved out of that V for victory and moving into Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is in Cancer since that full moon we had on the 13th, and that makes pink, red in the home of the white. And Cancer is the Elizabeth line. So a lot of you may be going over things from the past. Cancer is the past, memories. So there you've got the Elizabeth line, and here we've got the B cluster. We got the B, this is the B, the 13, the B cluster, and Mars has done his dance from the moon's home to Mercury's home to Gemini, and is now coming back to Cancer. So mainstream says that Mars is going into Leo. Oops, what's this? So yeah, we got, once this opens, I can't shut it. To shut it. So we have the icon. We've had Giselle, the French woman that was raped, back in France, being heralded as the biggest female icon, and she's being put next to Léon Marchand, Léon, Ellen, Noël, Léon, the Mer-lion, the swimmer, the French swimmer who's called Léon, which is your mer, sea, swim, lion. That's why we had in Singapore that earthquake where there is the Merlin, which is funny because I did a stopover there when I was coming back from New Zealand, and I went and slept in a hotel, and I didn't wake up for my plane. I asked them to phone me and wake me up, and the room was all black, so I had no sense of time, and it was all black, and I jumped up, and it was well past boarding, it was time, and I just got up, grabbed my things, threw my clothes on, I had everything ready, but I dropped a beautiful cross that I have carried all my life with me, that I'd given to my daughter and she gave back to me. So I was just thinking the other day, that cross was meant to be in Singapore where Mer-lion is. This is the time of rising Jack and Rose, Merlion, and this red-headed Elizabethan Venus woman rising with Jupiter and Mercury as Venus now takes over the summer solstice. And as I say, I think that it's been manipulated time, as it should of course be Saturn that rules Aquarius on the 16th of the 2nd of February, whereas we've got, instead of 16P2B, Buckingham Palace, PB, lead to gold, we've got the summer solstice, which is now the sun bang on top of the wand of Merlin. There is your matador, the corrida. And tomorrow we've got Jupiter in the home, Jack and Rose in the home of Rose, as Venus is conjunct to Saturn and Mercury, and they are the true gateway back to the higher chakras. So when I've learned the Hebrew tree, but I was told that Jupiter and Mars are here and Venus and Mercury, but it doesn't really make sense. It should be Venus and Mercury to go through Dart and then come to Pluto, Neptune and Uranus as that capstone. But as you know, we've got Jupiter and Mars in the home. So Mars just left the home of Mercury and Jupiter in the home of Venus, as Venus and Mercury are conjunct, completely conjunct to Saturn, and Neptune is there as well. So, you know, we did just have Mercury was completely combust. That was on the 3rd, 40, 50, 60. So yeah, we've got to go back to now. So yesterday, the day before, the 16th was a massive day. 16th, it's very difficult to focus on that day. And that's the day they came to Lupiac to film the village. And the moon, oh my God, of course, the moon was on Lupiac. That's the day they came to film, my goodness. And Norma, this is Norma, let's just put Norma, well, it all moved, but it's not showed. This is which one of these is Norma? Is this Norma? That's funny. I put Norma. Is it in? Okay, there's Norma. So when they were filming Lupiac the other day, we had the moon that came over Norma here. This is Norma. Voila, Norma. So Maria Callas, and on the day they rose Notre Dame in December, it was the 7th, 9, 10, 11, 12. We had Mercury and Pluto and right on Norma. So here, Mercury, it wasn't Pluto, but there's Mercury. Mercury was retrograde. And we had Venus conjunct Pluto, and we had the Sun and Mercury conjunct right on top of Norma. And then they come to film Lupiac as the moon is on Norma. Wowee. So here is today's chart. This is tomorrow's chart for Easter Day. So here's the moon in Sagittarius. The moon will still just be in Sagittarius. So this is to mark the northeast opposite southwest, Cupid and Valentine. So we end coronavirus, CV 322, and we're flipped to 223. So this is that lunar energy, the moon in Sagittarius, the Torah, the torso. We saw that just after my last video. We see the Pope, the Popeye coming out, and he is dressed in civilian clothes, but he's got on his tunic which is this Islam energy of the Torah showing that we're no longer, you know, this is really this merging now of that orthodox, I say to you always, that mixture between Islam and Christianity. We're going to have that one coming together. So this is tomorrow, Easter Day, Mars in Cancer. Mars is making a square. Mars rules Aries and is making a square to the Sun, and Venus is conjunct to Saturn. So you know that. So we've got Jupiter that rules Pisces, making this square to Pluto, and on the 21st that will be Jupiter square the Moon and Pluto, entering Capricorn, ruled by Saturn, as Saturn is now in the home of Jupiter. So everything is going to change now that Saturn has returned to Pisces. As I keep saying to you, this is clean up. This is really where you have to face the biggest demons, and the narcissists, those that cannot heal and take responsibility and truly understand the role of the anima and the animus, and get past and above the mother and father issues, the sun and the moon that work with Mars and Venus. Okay, we're going to start going through posts because we've already done 20 minutes and we have got a lot of stuff to see in 1 week. So we'll just begin. So what have I got here? I always post a lot when I know that I'm preparing a video, because I have to get all my ideas out and then I can see them. So I just saw this in China. We have a marathon that was run. 21 humanoid robots raced alongside thousands of runners around a 21-kilometer, 13 miles. So 21 is 777. 13 is that central position. So it's the A3. A is 1, 3 is C. It's the ascendant. It's that middle. It also makes the B, the 13th sign. And we've got the Beijing, the B Jing. So it's you need your last 7777 for 28, the last moon. And what else have I got here? AI. So yeah, A is 1, I is 9, and they bring this out on the 19th of April. So Louis' birthday, I've been going through nostalgia, Mars in Cancer. I dreamt last night about this house that I had where I did when I was in the divine feminine years. I called myself Petronelle de Papillon. It's just after I woke up in 2010, I came and I worked on the Jacques de Compostelle. So I bought this enormous house, sold my flat in Paris, and you know, it was massive. I had 20 loos, I had 4 different houses, and I would receive you know, you're meant to feed pèlerins very simple food, and I just fed them like absolute kings. And I had this house for 4 years. And then I met my last partner and moved away, and it's a miracle that I didn't lose everything. So you see, it was a lot of work, but it's funny because this is Jacques de Compostelle. Jacques de Compostelle is the same as D'Artagnan. Compost is to pourri, to putrefy. It's the bottom of this tree of life. It's the putrefaction that rises. Jack and the beanstalk, Jack and Rose, Jupiter and Mercury, Cupid and Valentine, Batman and Robin, and now with Catwoman, Venus. And I came and played this role, did this divine feminine, and so I had all these pèlerins, and they just thought I was a nutcase because they're very Catholic, straight people that do this. And I became nicknamed as the artist, and I just created this beautiful place for everybody. These fish we had. And I thought I'd lost all these pictures because I lost my computer in the floods in New Zealand, and I thought all these pictures went, and I was looking for pictures as it was my son's birthday, and I found these memories, which is interesting. Right, so first post, Giselle, which is going to bring us, it's going to bring us to all the Kate Perry. G is L, G7, L7, L, 37773, Giselle, Gigi, L7, G is 7, Lucy Jordan, NILE line, the ballads, LJ, GL, the good life, liberty and glory, Lord Gruffalo, G7, L is the 12, 12 is 3, so G7, GL is a play, 3, again, that's just 73, 37, and this is the Vesica Pisces, that 37, 73 makes this passage that we are in. So Giselle, Gigi, means to pledge. The name Giselle originates from the French language and carries the meaning of pledge. This moniker can be traced back to ancient times when it was derived from the Germanic word Gisile, which translates to hostage or pledge. The morning sun touched lightly on the eyes of Lucy Jordan in her white suburban bedroom in her white suburban town, as she lay there neath the covers, dreaming of 1,000 lovers, till the world turned to orange, and the room went spinning round. At the age of 37, she realised she'd never ride through Paris in a sports car with the warm wind in her hair. So you've got Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and you see that spin. And as they found the pyramid peak, we also had those whirls in the sky. This is the celestial goddess. This is the Virgin. This is the pyramid. This is the rose. This is Eve. This is Lucifer rising. So we've had all over the newspapers. She will be 73 years old this year. And this is Giselle Pellicot, so the famous woman with her short red haircut, which is just your fifth element of Venus. He has got dementia. He was in that famous series, Moon with Sybil Shepherd. Remember that? He was the moon. It was called Moon something. So there she is. The fifth element, there's your multipass, and there's Mick Jagger with his new girlfriend, Melanie Hamrick, 37 years old. At the age of 37, Marianne Faithfull, La Marianne, with her hand rising as we saw Kate Perry, dies on the day of the aeroplane and the Black Hawk in Washington, D.C. to rise the whore of Babylon, because Virgo will now rise on the back of Leo. And what do they have in the French newspapers? You will see, I've got clips of this. So remember, he came up for the Oscars. He suddenly turned up to present the film El Mal, which is the evil, or, you know, which was the film of Emilia Perez. So the film of a transgender. Elizabeth line, that's where we're at. There she is, the celestial goddess. She makes the top, and there you've got what we saw in the sky, the spirals. The flower of life is the material realm. You're trapped in the daisy. The daisy is the flower of life. The true eternal heaven is a spiral. It's not a closed, but we need that flower of life to have a material experience. And it is through her that we escape to heaven. But Kate Perry went up, and then she came down. When they were up, they were up. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Grand old Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. Marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. So this here, you've got the cycles of Venus, the vertical and the horizon, the hormonalizer, the horizon, Putin, horizon. So you either make a triangle just to here, or you make the true triangle. You don't let William Telltale get rid of your third eye. This is Saturn. We've got Mercury and Venus merging with Saturn right now, and Neptune, heaven. So the male voice, the female voice is this passage, the passage, the gap. So 7777 37 is your L. There is L Mal. There's your Kate Perry. This is the 21 tarot cards. And again, there's your, you need the cornerstone on that triangle. So this is the aeroplane that went missing, 37, and that is the age of Mick Jagger's wife. So we're entering this time of just Virgo and Mercury, Kate Perry, Kastor and Pollux. That's why I always say in the film of Pip and Estelle, Great Expectations, of the book by Charles Dickens. This is where we are, just the children. And here is the Vesica Pisces 31 with your Ophiuchus 13. 13, 13 is MM as we go, as Saturn has now moved into the home of Jupiter, into Pisces, and Mars has moved into Cancer, and Venus and Mercury are conjunct to Saturn, and orange, so orange is made from the masculine axis, grey is made from the feminine axis, Dorian grey. This gives us the pink and blue, and Kate Perry arrives in blue on the day of a pink moon. So there's your Mercury. She's holding that daisy, but this daisy is now transgender. It's one sex. They've merged Mercury and Mars. Mercury and Mars, when it should be this true energy of Mercury, Venus and Saturn. So are you able to discern? Did you really think that Kate Perry does this? So we're truly at the Cairo. This is the Cairo, is the closing of the mutable cross, but we've got these gap years before we have all the signs which fall fully onto the fixed cross. So this is, she's called Giselle Pellicott, and those are the arms of Pellicott. El Mal, there is the film. It's this highway. They've got this red. So at the age of 37, she realized she'd never ride through Paris. Giselle Pellicott and Léon Marchand, LM, are the new icons of Time magazine among the 100 most influential people of 2025. Yeah, because you've got Rose and Jack, Leon, the Merlion, Lucy Jordan, LJ, Justice League, Jacob's Ladder. J is 10, L is 12. That makes 1 and 3, 13. Have you found your middle? Your middle. There again, you got your 37, your 73. It is L, the Vesica PC passage. So there's that film again. And funny, my lovely D'Artagnan, the guy who's remained my friend and love for life, I called him D'Artagnan. He sends me a little message this morning and he says, oh, you got to watch this film. You'll cry, you'll love it. And I go, oh my God, I was just making this post about Rosie. So it's all in pale pink and blue. There she is on the cross, Rose, but it's pedophile. It's just Mercury. Mercury on his own. The Marguerite. Marguerite is the daisy. There is Rose holding the cross. And that's why I had to leave my cross in Singapore. Left it. It was beautiful. It was all pink and blue and pale green. It was beautiful with a little diamond in the middle. So the red blue now becomes pink blue. El Mal. And there is Marianne Faithfull, Mick Jagger, Elle magazine. 3773. There is Gigi, so that G is made into a 9 because that L is a 90-degree angle. 99 red balloons. So this is your highest level you can get to, but they've put Lolita there. They've got this, there she is, that's Kate Perry. This is, you know, this is Lucifer, it's the dark side, or you find, you know, we're being alchemically taken through. There's Jacques de Compostelle. This is the same. This is your brainstem. It's not the top. The top, you've got Rose. Jack is your brainstem. This is the labyrinth, David Bowie, that steals a child. This is Osiris. It's Jack. He puts Rose. He crucifies. He doesn't want to get crucified. He crucifies Mary Magdalene, Rose. So that is what we see with Kate Perry. I have been telling you about Lucifer rising all this time. She's carrying the Anki, the key. And there is Rose and Mick Jagger. So her name, the English Rose, there's the Celestial Virgin, the Rosa. She's at the top. She's right here. They've got Venus upside down. That's what they hold. The spectre and the orb. The Queen carries the spectre and the orb. It's an upside down Venus, the upside down pentagram, the new dawn, the new age. And they've got this. So what have they got up here? They've got Mercury, salt and sulfur all the way around. Leo, Taurus, a lot of Taurus and Leo, Taurus and Leo, Venus and the Sun, that's what they want. So there is closing of this retrograde of Venus, end of the cycle in Pisces. There is your, as you know, when people do that. So I suppose it should be pat and round. It's the torso field, it's the Taurus field of life. Venus retrograde, and there you've got Kate, pure, and Rose. Kate means pure. So Roman Polanski and Nataskia Skinsky in Test d'Urberville, the Virgin Mother. And there's your Aphrodite. She shows one breast, Venus rising from the Jacques de Compostelle, from the shell of BP oil. She sells seashells on the seashore. She's the horizon, where the horizon and the vertical meet, where the sun comes down on the horizon, the sun and Venus meet. Callie, Elizabeth Taylor, Bjork, violently happy, Violet, Mary Queen of Scots, showing the gun, the trigger, the angle. Juliet has a gun. That was the perfume I used to promote for Romano Ricci, RR, Romulus and Remus, RR, and I did a big production in Paris. So I had a girl walking through Paris with a gun. I've showed you that film in the past. And there is Jacob's Ladder rising up from the west-east, and there they've got the escalators in the back showing where the vertical meets the Elizabeth line, the purple. So 1968 to 2023, Lisa Marie, hormonal Liza. There's your black, your red, yellow, masculine, and black, white, feminine. The cat, Eliza Doolittle. We saw Kate that returned with the same hat at the Ascot races after she had gone for her cancer. Jean de Barry. So she's married. Kate Perry, there was something Bezos, something JB, Bezos, JB. So there's JB, George the Throat, Stepford Wives, Rosemary's Baby. So it's that green. The green is the heart. It's the green man between the red and blue. And you have this birth, this new egg. And there is the birth, the pram. Hormonal Liza, you've got these two sides and the passage. And you've got Gaga and what she called Judy Garland from Cabaret. I love her. It's just gone out my head. So the French Prime Minister Lisbonne, so Lisbon, Lisbon, Portugal is the heart of this new girl rising, Lisbon. It is the door to the Gaulois, the Portugal, it's the door to the Gal, to the Gaulois, to the Wales. You had Elizabeth Truss as well. And there is your Cancer, where Mars. So what was I showing here? We've got 12, 25. I was taking you somewhere. Yeah, so let's go back to now. So Mars, you see, for the rising of Notre Dame, Mars was here on the beehive, on the bee. It's right on that beehive. For the rise of Notre Dame, right there on the bee, the 13. And now Mars has come back. And I told you that Mars was here in 1977 when Chiron, the key, was found. And that was when they made the Homeless Act. And now we've got Prince William. Everything's about coming up for his birthday. And he will play this new homeless saving. So I can't remember why I put that one in. That's not the, but it's the Liverpool line. It's got another name, but it's also important. So there's the fifth element. You've got the blue lady, and this is exactly where we are. So there's that film, Rosie. So Rosie made me think of the French airports. The French airport is called Roissy, Roissy. So there you've got pink and blue in all media, everything. It is the new color. Instead of red and blue, we've got pink and blue. So you see, Melanie is a feminine given name derived from the Greek blackness, and that from melos, meaning dark. Hamric is one of the many names that the Normans brought with them when they conquered England in 1066. The name Hamric came from Old French word amurai, which means work, rule, or perhaps valiant and vigilant, ruler, mark. And then I went to look because 1066, William the Conqueror, Hastings, the Battle of Hastings, was the area that in the floods when I was in New Zealand, all Hastings got flooded, and they'd gone from the old New Zealand Prime Minister to this little guy who looked just like Pip in, you had, what was she called, Clarinda or something, the New Zealand woman that did all COVID, and then just for the floods, as COVID ended, they brought in the new Prime Minister, who's since changed again, I think, a little red-headed man who looked just like Pip. So I went to look up, 1066 is like 16:6. I just went to look up Mark 16:6. Don't be alarmed, he said. You are looking for Jesus, the Nazarene, who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him. So it's Easter Day, tomorrow. And so, we've got that gap. He was disappeared for three days. That's the 3 degrees. The sun moves 72 Moves 1 degree every 72 years. 3 times 72 is 216. And so we just had Mary Magdalene. And before we can come to this true rising, it may be that about that kind of 3 degrees that we're about to pass. Just an idea that came up. Okay. Right, we got to whiz because how on earth can I show everything? So this is just a quick post. KP, Pollux, Castor, Chips, CP, Pollux, Castor, Police, Chips, Daisies. So got the, this is going to be the rise of the Chips. Her daughter, she's 40 years old and her daughter is 4. That's 4-4, D-Day, Daisy Day. And she did, of course, promote crisps, spare me the guilt chip, love without the handles, nothing fake about M. So yeah, she was promoting chips, blue origin, the egg for Easter, and you've got 4 for all for one and one for all. That's D'Artagnan, and we've got the moon on D'Artagnan for Easter Day tomorrow. So the implants, the chips. I mean, whenever I hear this KP, I just think of KP chips. So there you've got the sun and Venus, the rose line. It's the rose line. Should be the sun and Mars that work together, and moon and Venus for the true animus. And now we've got Mars in the moon's home. It's inverting the male and female animus. And we've got the sun square to Mars. And we've had the sun with Venus. So that enough of. Oh, and by the way, look, this is last night at Biarritz, the B at the Ritz, last place that Diana was seen. And look at the double rainbow over where the Virgin Mary stands on the rocks. So male narcissists are misogynists. They desperately seek women, yet inwardly despise them. These men are totally turned on by extreme sexuality, yet are perversely disgusted by attractive female attributes. Believing women are promiscuous, sexually manipulative, and attention-seeking. The male narcissist will often play out a deep subconscious mother revenge by running his female partner into the ground. He will destroy her self-esteem, femininity, and sexuality piece by piece. So this is, most men and women today have got their anima and their animus mixed up. So I just posted this today. It popped up and it just describes exactly what this. So what do I put? Bingo, 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 story of my life. So many men hide behind the perfect wife. So men will marry somebody to have children with, but the minute, so I was with my husband at 16, but the minute I started to show strength, to be a woman and wanted to, so by the time I was 30, I was thrown out. And he was incredibly promiscuous, but he only liked very, very young girls and older women. Nothing of that middle range. That's why Brigitte Bardot is seen as the young girl and as the old woman, and then as a very bad mother. Her son Nicolas, she said she abandoned him, but they have to make us, they can't give us the 3 stages, the 777, the 3 phases of the moon, which is what gives that the merging of becoming, the woman must be able to own her Mars and her sun, and the man must be aware of his moon and Venus. So either Venus is Lucifer, seductive, and that's what's happened because Libra is masculine, not feminine, and Taurus is feminine, not masculine. They're turning this Sun, Venus energy of Taurus, the voluptuous mother, into a dirty Diana. That's why Diana was portrayed as the perfect mother and then a prostitute. So it's very, very subtle. And unless you've known this absolute hate of what men have suffered with their own mothers, subconsciously, unconsciously, and therefore, which is very French, very Latin, men love a woman, but if she shows any hell hath no fury than that of a woman who protects innocence, then, you know, which is Kali, it's Cancer. So we'll come to that, but this is very good. I don't know who this guy, he just really understands, this guy who posts all this, Poker David, all his posts. So this is interesting. We got Richard Wolff talking about the end of the American Empire. It was Europe that was an empire. It's Europe, the empire, that is crashing America by making America into the baddie when America should be rising. Right, so let's move on down. We had a storm come in last night. This is very good. Guy showing the torso field, the sine wave. So as the wheel goes round, the sine wave goes up and down. And as Lavette explained, we're going from a wheel of 12 signs to make 360, 12 times 30, to making a fifth wave, the fifth element. So we'll have the star of Venus, which is the 72, 72, 72, 72, 72. That is 5 times 72, which makes 360. You see he's drawing every sign. You can put Taurus in there, Aries, the V. But, you know, the wheel is moving. We're no longer Aries the first. There you got Taurus at the top, you see. That was very good. This is very good as well. This is me. Check that out. This is a new a code, newbie, N-E-W, and then a B, for anybody that would, new customers that want a natal reading. I'll put it in. So yeah, she was in the news, of course. Oh my gosh, yes. So look, here she is, her return to life. So Mars went into Gemini and now come back to Cancer, and this comes out, and her new boyfriend is JL, as this is the Lucy Jordan Justice League, Jacob's Ladder, JL, and he's called Jean-Luc. I mean, give me a break. The wolf, the she-wolf, and this is, yeah, 17th, as Mars was back in Cancer. Can't make this up. Right, so there's Mars in Cancer, and we've got all these posts everywhere saying Mars enters Leo. So will that, you know, no, that's not right. Okay, so let's get to Kate Perry. So this was, yeah, this was a post that I posted. So I'm sharing this post. I posted this on April the 3rd, and then yet no one makes a connection. So on April the 3rd, we did all this. I would have showed this in my last video. Okay, I would have showed all this in the last video. So go and watch the last video. Uh-oh, what am I doing? 1 second. Okay, so I shared all that, and then I shared the new post. So here we've got Rumpelstiltskin, Bess, the god of fertility. So she goes up in the god of fertility. That's her brainstem. And she comes back down just in the head, in the egg. And there are 6 dressed in blue. So Jupiter is on the Pleiades, the 7 sisters, and there's always one leg missing. There's one sister in the middle, as Jupiter is on, no, Uranus is on the Pleiades at the moment. So she comes back in her egg, and we've just had a blue egg. And there she is, in her egg, coming back. We've got Taurus, we've got, you know, this is her. This is the passage. This is the tarot cards. When we get to the top, there's the two birds, Pete, Paul, two little dicky birds. There's Libra at the top. And, you know, it's just exactly this. There's the Anki. And she's carrying the daisy. It should be the Anki coming to heaven. The daisy keeps us stuck in the material. So she's holding the daisy. Remember these two in Bosnia, these two, this is just the north-south node when they finish a cycle as they are now in Pisces Virgo, a new egg. This I found, this, so that's, look, you've got the Anki, you've got the Keeper of the Four Corners, Cirrus, and this passage when the four corners meet, which is what happens at the end of the mutable cross, a new egg. The cosmic egg. This is from Pets, the vulva of Isis, where emerged from the airwaves, the quantum 8, the eye of the needle, bingo. There's the cosmic egg, Mercury, that's what she's holding up, the daisy. And there is David Bowie, who takes the baby, which is exactly what's happening now. The girl with Mercury, the child. This is Virgo and Mercury. And the labyrinth is what you have in my village. My village is the home of the labyrinth. So there's David Bowie with the baby. This is Osiris. This is Happy, the bull god. That's why my dog Happy was killed in 2019. It's got his crocodile Amit feet. There she is in Lucifer Rising holding an Anki. Should be an Anki. So this is, you know, if she finds the name of Rumpelstiltskin, she keeps her fertility, her womb. But that's the story of Rumpelstiltskin. He goes to meet her. He says, I'll turn everything to gold for you. I'll do this journey. But you have to remember my name. You have to know my name, or I'm going to take your firstborn child from you. So there she is holding the flower, the Cadeus, the fire. This is the 21 tarot cards. There is the pear tree. She's called Kate Perry, pear. Osiris and Isis. There's the pear tree. I had a little pear tree. The King of Spain, the Spain in rain, the rain in Spain stays mainly on the plain. There she is, Venus, holding the passage between Taurus and Mercury, and now Mercury has become one. It's one sex, and that's why we have Kate Perry, KP, Kastor and Pollux, the twins, become one as Jack and Venus. Mork and Mindy, the World Tarot card, Ishtar, the Whore of Babylon. And this is the passage, this is the girl, this is the innocence, this is the child, this is Mary and the Lamb, or, you know, or Mary Magdalene, the hooker. This is the beach or the bitch, the grace or the goth. She's prude or crude. Virgo, Venus in Virgo in detriment, Venus in Pisces exalted. That's all interesting. So there again, it's always your brainstem. The mouth is like the egg. It's the 8, the wheel. The wheel's going to go from 12 to 8. And this is where we meet the girl. There she is. Ishtar, the sun, the moon, the daisy. And she's coming back in the egg. She comes out of the egg. There she is. The Vesica Pisces. It's the birds. Medulla oblongata and your amygdala. Your amygdala and the medulla oblongata controls your emotions. You're either a hairy wolf And that's why in that film, Midnight Express, in Turkey, just like in Narnia, the Wicked Witch, Jadis, always gives Turkish delights. Turkey is Islam. She's holding, and there's Venus and the plane crash, Humpty Dumpty, and Easter is tomorrow. We're at the birth of the new egg. It's your Anki, the horns of consecration. It's a bit like the Kate Perry, the labyrinth, the cosmic egg. So I actually went very weird. I decided to go back and help the team at Lupiac clean the chateau, which is something I've done off and on for 4 years. It gets me out of the house. It's incredibly hard work. We do 8 hours and we get paid low, you know, we get paid not a lot, but what's amazing is just to be with those Supergirl team, amazing women. And now I know why I had to go, because they had all this is a famous man, they were all in the village at Lupiac. So, and they've got a big Tibetan monk who arrived this weekend, because that's Jupiter. And Lupiac is the home of the wolves of Rome. And here he is, Stefan Bern, saying, look at this place, how magic it is. So the village preferred of the French. There you've got that image of the tarot card. When your consciousness rises like a pure flame, this world becomes a portal to the heavens. So this is what Kate Perry's showing you. You either remain in the flower of life, or you rise, you can find your portal through to the higher consciousness. So there, it was all over the newspapers. As I was there working in the castle, the front page of the newspapers, in my little village where the moon is right now, and we got Easter preparing. They have all the bulls ready to kill tomorrow. I'm keeping well away, and I'm doing this video now in case if anything happens to me, you know that I didn't do anything, that I have no plans to be leaving. So Agat disappeared, missing, a good woman. Agat means a good woman. Hailing from Greece, this girl's name means good woman and is another variant. So the good woman has gone. Black swan, white swan, Venus in detriment, Venus exalted. As I said, the beach to the bitch. The good woman's gone, and this new Venus has come in. There's my village, the 5-pointed star, where we have, there's Romulus and Remus, there's Jacques de Compostelle, Alia, the wolves, so guarding the heart, Baal and the wolf, and there is your cornerstone. Got to find your heart, the Minotaur, the Labyrinth, Jacques de Compostelle, Lupercalia. This is my village. So you see, this is they're bringing us back to this northeast southwest axis, which is not the true north. It's my church, and on, I think I've got theirs, that's where they're going to kill the bulls tomorrow. And there is the Labyrinth. On the drain pipe, Incy Wincy Spider climbing up the spout, is the Labyrinth in my village. Et voila. So I have posted all these posts. You can read that. I've posted it on the posts on YouTube, and those are going to be the same pictures. But I'm basically saying here, This is your brainstem, it's your fist, it's your rump, L-E-L, stilt skin. Your ability to identify the narcissist in yourself, your joker, your reflection, your gnome, your gnosis. So when I woke up to, you know, a lifelong of narcissistic abuse from my mother to my ex-husband, I also had to become aware of my own lack of empathy for innocence, you know. I was unconscious. So there's no point in seeing through and pointing your finger at the other if you can't identify your role in playing the fox and the crow. It's the jump between Saturn and Jupiter, the tortoise and the hare. That's why there was something tortoise, something about Kate Perry and the shepherd. I'll take you to all that. So your reflection, your gnome, as long as you take this experience at first degree, you will never get to the 3 degrees of the gap, 216 years between ages, 6 times 6 times 6, 216. Your gap is your inability to connect corridor, the corridor, Narnia gap, the core of Ida, the corridor between your spine and your brainstem. It's the brainstem. So you've got the gap here, you've got the gap here. You know, it really is finding the cross. Your brainstem between your left right hemisphere. When the bull cow is killed, so is the lien, the link, the NILE, the line between your ability to connect to your heart. Is your heart heavier than the feather? Can you see through the mind games yet? You can't be a pure lamb if you're heavy, your heart is too heavy and you're greedy, and you can't find the innocence of Aquarius, then you're still detached. Aquarius is detached and cruel if you can't accept that Aquarius is the new lamb, it's the new head, it's the new beginning of, you know, there's almost no torso feel left, because Aquarius is the water waves, it's the air waves which they make look like water. The star card is the girl that carries the battery, the Baghdad battery, the water bearer, just like Mary Magdalene. But it's Christ. You know, it's Christ. It's where Mary Magdalene, she will take you to Christ. You have to be, you know, if men still hate, still don't like the sexuality within women, and if women can't be aware of their own inner masculinity, if you see what I'm getting at. Know thy name, know thy enemy. The medulla oblongata, or simply medulla, is a long stem-like structure which makes up the lower part of the brainstem. It is anterior and partially inferior to the cerebellum. It's a cone-shaped neuronal mass responsible for autonomic, involuntary functions ranging from vomiting to sneezing. So anybody that can't control their, you know, it's something that you can't control. But you have to be, you know, it's involuntary. So once that gets taken away from you, you have nothing voluntary left. So then I do a whole thing on the Cairo. So it was Easter 2019. My dog Happy was sacrificed to Happy the bulldog as bulls were killed, as Mars was on bullseye Aldebaran, as for the death of the Queen, floods in New Zealand, and Nicola Bully. So Mars was on Aldebaran in 2019 and in 2022 when I was there for the floods, and Nicola Bully went missing. Jupiter is now on the bullseye. Jupiter, Mars, Saint Martin kills Saint Saturnin. The gnome is your brain stem. He is Rumpelstiltskin. He takes her fertility because you do not know your name, your enemy. And CV Corona, Virgo virus, Pisces began as Saturn entered domicile. 6 years later, Notre Dame opened and Saturn leaves domicile in Aquarius as North Node leaves Pisces. So Pleiades mark the true fixed cross closure. The Pleiades, the Seven Sisters, is where Uranus is right now. So Caroline, Cairo line, the Cairo, Charles Rex, Canada, Russia, Northeast. So, you know, Trump will be used as this gnome to take over Greenland, which is the heart between the torso fields, until you identify your name. So, I mean, they make it very easy for you. They're showing you this character you should be able to see through. So just as Camilla and Charles were in Rome, CC33, vertebre, vertebrae, the green tree, and this is where Pierre Stein stone and the pole are mounted, the Liberty pole, 777, Jack on the beanstalk, Jack, the compost L, 3773 is born, Jack and Rose. Jupiter takes the home of Venus, Taurus, Pleiades, Uranus, modern ruler of Aquarius. So in a way, Sun, Apollo, and Helios, the two sides of Sun and Mercury merging and taking Venus. So, you know, you should be able to find Saturn to open the third eye or turn to stone. So I'm going to let you finish reading that, because that is quite long. And it's, again, it's showing all these same things. I'm showing you it's the Cairo. There is the stag, the deer has gone, the sun and the stag, the rose and Jack. And basically they're bringing us to this. Gemini is the twins, and they turn Venus into a sterile, barren, by making this problem of free martyrs. So FM 6 and 13, so 13 makes 4, and F is 6 when I'm 64. So Kate Perry was 40, there were 6 girls, that's 64 again. So when hormones are mixed, every twin develops with characteristics of the other sex. The male exhibit only reduced fertility while the female is completely infertile. A free martin is genetically a female, but it has an abnormal reproductive anatomy with female external genitalia, while internal genitalia consists of a variably array of phenotypically male organs. So, you know, I know some of these women, I've told you, they are incredibly sexual, highly sexual, incredibly beautiful. They walk among us today. That's what the Cold War in Russia was about, the Russian dolls. They are women, but with male, you know, so this is how man made the Stepford Wives. He's made to avoid being confronted with the masculine sexuality of a proper balanced woman. He's made the woman who is no longer the mother. Hell, you know, hell hath no fury than a mother that would protect her child. That birthing canal as the child comes out, that guttural scream that the mother makes. They don't want to hear that, these misogynists. So they've created this new woman, and now they've taken over fertility, and that's all they wanted. Everything else, that's all that's going on, is, you know, the hate of a woman. But we'll get through. So the sun was in the V for Pisces when all this was going on. It's on the full moon. There is the sun. There is your Venus and the sun. The Venus is exalted in Pisces, and the sun is in the V, the gorge, the George, the valley, So, and there is my corrida gap between your spine and your brain. Brain is the brainstem between your left right hemisphere. When the bull cow is killed, so is the LIEN link between your ability to connect to your heart. There is the seventh sister of the Pleiades, and that is what they were showing you. They're taking the sexuality out and they've only got 6 and not 7. So I have only 6. So the 7 sisters, that was a series. So look at these women. They've all got their guns. I've showed you that image over and over again. The 5th element is this woman that you see in the 5th element. She can't speak, remember. She learns to speak with a brain chip, with like a computer. There she is, the world tarot. She is the woman in the passage. When you find all phases of the moon, the 3 triple goddesses, you find the last leg, the dark side of the moon. There's Happy, he's sung at, and he's got his hat on. This is the shadow. They're showing you, these are the shadow people. This is the shadow people that I met as a small child at 7 years old. And they came to my window, knocked on my door, and smiled and laughed and showed me the witches and the red sky. And they thought I'd never, ever rise through the fear. Didn't speak for many years. The cow jumped over the moon in the gap. Taurus, these gap years. Appy, the bull gods. And Mars on Aldebaran, and now we've got Jupiter. And that's why my dog was killed. So the bullseye, and there I showed you Paddington. That is the butterfly. When she's holding a butterfly, it's the hourglass. It's the T. That's the constellation of Taurus. And that's in Yellowstone, the film, the film with Beth, the cowboy woman, the English with the red hair girl. It's the yellow, whatever her, the logo of that series. I've been talking to you about it a lot. So it's a shell. It's an empty shell. And PB red blue takes the constellation of Taurus, which is the hourglass, which is the pear, which is that sandwich, the Earl. In England, there's a famous Earl called Lord Sandwich. So I did 2 full days working at Lupia, and I was just, I'm actually very, very fit, but I couldn't keep up with this. I was trying to make posts, which is not easy when you're working all day out. That's why I need my space for my readings, and because I need to be able to think. So trying to get, that's why I was really slow on bringing everything together. So Jupiter on the bullseye, breast of Venus, Aldebaran in Taurus, and Uranus in Taurus on the 7 sisters, the Pleiades, and the full pink moon on blue star Spica. Well, yeah, that's the biggest thing about that full moon was that it was a full pink moon. It was a full pink moon. So sun on the V, and the moon was on blue star Spica. I mean, as Venus is next to Saturn and Mercury and Neptune. So on the full pink moon on blue star Spica, so it was the 13th of the 4th. 13 is 4 and April is 4. So she's 40, her daughter's 4. That's 4, 4, all for one and one for all. 14 pieces of Osiris. Osiris, there he is the rocket, is the last leg, egg, 777, 21, 28 moon cycle. Venus rules Taurus and Libra. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. We just went through the Passage Gap 21 World Trade Tarot Card Center. So, I mean, I just can't believe this is happening and that people can't see it, because I've been telling you, 7 sisters in China, Tibet, and we've just had that race in Beijing, which is northeast. So you see, they show you there's 5, 7, and there's some other film, 7 sisters, and they show the gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, and a gun. Well, of course, Jupiter for the full moon, right on top. between the horns. I mean, what that is, you know, what Ishtar, that is the bull, that is Osiris, that is the Labis. So Vega is also a blue star, and in that film with Jodie Foster, Interceptional Connect or whatever, she goes and she says Vega, a blue star, Vega. So the moon was on the blue star, Spica. Uranus is on the Pleiades. The Seven Sisters of India as well. So Asia and India, India the cow, Taurus, Asia, Jupiter, Venus and the Sun. There she is, that I always show you that image, and that's her rising now, the fifth element. 7 Salons, this is the Great American Eclipse. So 2016 to 2024, this is the 7th, this famous film, what's it called again? It's it's gone out my mind. 7 Planets of the Week. This is another Canary Islands. And London Grammar, Lose Your Head. She's all in that pink and blue, and she plays the 7th sister, the last. And they're the 7 sisters again on the Milky Way. And there is Osiris taking the fertility. And that is your brainstem. And Jupiter was right in between. So is this Osiris? This is just Mercury holding up the egg in the middle. Right. So we're nearly at the end. So I had just found out about it, and the first thing that comes to my mind is the daisy, the sun and the moon. So there's Olive with her daisies, and there is Mount Olive. In every Bible verse where the olives are mentioned, it means that the 4 colliculus and the pineal gland on the back of the brainstem. So Matthew 21, and when they drew, you can come and see these images, they're on my posts, but this is from Lars. So there is the horns of the bull, the Anki, and we've now got Jupiter right here. So this is the home of Venus, Taurus, and the Sun, Ra. Mars and Jupiter both have passed. There you've got this alchemical journey, the daisy, Mercury, the sun and the moon. The flower of life. So you've got the 6 is the Tiffen. So see, they put Mars and Jupiter here, and Mercury and Venus here with the moon, and they put Mars and Jupiter here. So we've currently got Mars and Jupiter in the home of Venus and Mercury, and we've got the north and the south node closing the Orus Boreas. So, and we have Neptune currently conjunct to Saturn and to Mercury and Venus. You know, this really is the passage. We're at the passage. So that's Kate Perry, that's her daughter. We've got a Daisy daughter. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage. I can't afford a carriage. The carriage in the sky. But you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle. Bicycle made for 2. So this is the bicycle. It's not the chariots. Orus Boreas, Mercury, Sun and Moon. Again, the beetle, the hourglass, the pear, the pure Kate Perry. This is some Lucifer rising. Is this the moon? Ra the sun, L Saturn. Okay, thank you. Let's say thank you. Okay. The real Holy Trinity. Okay, yeah. So sulfur, salt, Mercury, and the yin and the yang. And bingo, where we are. Salt, mercury, sulfur, earth, water, air, fire, volatile, fixed, celestial, salt, celestial, I can't read that, prima materia. And again, it's all the same thing. So Tiferet is number 6. That's Cupid's. That's the middle. And I have found the universe is one big sexual machine, and the intercourse has to a big one as an age, an era, and an eon comes to the end. The birth will be in great vain, as a new age era and eon will be the child, which will be genderless. Be vigilant in the observing role, and do not be a partaker of her sin, as the feminine has become the whore of Babylon by corrupting the spiritual mermaid of the sea. That's Pisces. The masculine seed is gone. So that's Aska, Lars that wrote that, and that is bingo. Sulfur, mercury, salt. There is 32 paths of wisdom. The letter Tav, Yesod to Malkut. And you've got Saturn in here as well. Letter Tav, meaning marks that intelligence path, tribute beauty or ugliness. Yeah, Saturn. So I have another picture I need to really show. So look, you've got Lucifer at the top, Christ in the middle, Satan at the bottom. This is salt, Mercury in the middle, and sulfur, Lucifer at the top. So, you know, we've got to merge. That's why she goes up and comes back down, and then she shows Mercury in the middle. You need the 3, the mind, body, and spirit. So it's the god of the Nile, the line, the Cairo line. This is all happening as Mars has gone to Gemini. We had the Caroline floods, had the Cairo line floods. He went back, he was in Gemini, Caroline floods, went to Cancer, went back to Gemini, and is now back in Cancer. It's the Cairo line. Mercury, the moon, giving to Mercury the fertility. Right. I can't find the picture for you, but that picture where I have Eve at the top, Sophia in the middle, and Lilith at the bottom. So these 3 phases of the woman, when they're known, you can find the 4th woman. 777 will bring you to the last dark phase. So she's got the butterfly, which is also in the pelvis, and it's also in the brain. So I've just come to old pictures to show you. I know it's somewhere in here. There. Okay, so there's your butterfly. It's your Merlin. Okay, we want to jump to this. So this is in your brain, this butterfly. Okay, so there is the butterfly at the back. No, it's behind our eyes. And so we've got one in the pelvis, one in the heads. So Lucifer, butterfly, let's make this bigger. So it's like the key. It's the key. There's the Holy Grail in our heads. There is this moon. There, they're holding up the arms. So it's this in the middle, the moon, the sun, and the key. Bone. So that's the butterfly. Not my computer, but see, and we're at the Chiron last. We're at the last key now. So there she shows a butterfly, she shows a little blue man, somebody shows, oh, some funny noises going on. So this was the first, when I first found out about it, first post I did, and I said the full moon was in Virgo, 13.4 mainstream said Libra, Virgo, Mercury, Libra, Venus, Venus exalted in Pisces, Venus in detriment in Virgo, Mercury exalted in Virgo in detriment in Pisces, Virgo, Mercury merged with Libra, Venus to make masculine, Virgin Mary, look at pics, try to think, Taurus only ruled by Venus feminine and Gemini also ruled by Mercury masculine twins, Mars just left Gemini for Cancer moon and Jupiter still on bullseye, Taurus, Mercury, Venus currently in Pisces and Saturn enters Pisces 20th of April. So I feel super connected to love. So Venus was exalted in Pisces. And right now we are seeing the young female Mary Magdalene being turned into the whore of Babylon and the male into a nobody, genderless entity. Pedophilia are dawning to be legalized just for the purpose of power and fun. They will create the false androgynous mankind as an without barren, genderless entity. When the mature old male or female holds a child in its hand, it works in two ways. The grand ones of the child are the ones to be allowed to do it and not a stranger. Okay, we are all being manipulated away from the real heaven on earth in Aquarius and Capricorn. The Libra, Lucifer energy and false justice are about to be implemented by capturing mankind in this false energy. We must turn away from this to preserve the two sacred genders of feminine and masculine. The green monster dividing and conquering mankind. So the green is just the central of the torso field, but what I see is that it's being birthed and the red and the blue are becoming pink and baby blue, just like we see in Sleeping Beauty, and they argue with the pink blue, you know, just the children. Aries is the newborn. So there we have this fifth, the 4 crucifixions and the upcoming fake one. So this is what we're living now, this merging of Libra and Virgo, which is also Venus and Mercury. So this is it, the pink and the blue. We're at the sigil of Lucifer. There's your pink and blue passage that we're going through, this gateway, and Kate Perry, what's her name? Boaz, she's got Kate Perry, what's his name? Bezos. I don't know who Bezos is, but I kept hearing Bezos. Who is Bezos? Jeff Bezos, the fiancé, Jeff Bezos. So that is your BJ, Jeff Bezos. And we got to get through this. See, it's Venus and Mercury, the doors to Saturn, and Saturn is now conjunct. So you should, and there's your pink and blue. So we've got Léon Marchal in France on the front of Time, the biggest icons. Léon, the French swimmer. Leo with Venus, this Giselle, G is L. So olive, the wheel, that is your pineal gland and your Popeye, the Mount Olive and the Popeye. Metaverse offers eternal life in strange Black Mirror update once it has collected all your data. Revelation 9:6, and in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. registered that at 1711. That's 6161. So look, there you have the equinox of Pisces and Virgo that make the angle, and the new tropics, Gemini and Sagittarius. And now we're moving on to Taurus, Scorpio. Scorpio is killed, Taurus and Venus is kept, and they're making this fake axis that runs across Turkey, northeast, so Polaris. And so this green line, it runs through where I live. Bang, right there. That's where I live. Where the five-pointed star, D'Artagnan, we are right in the center of that torso line. That's why the book Abbé Pierre was written about here. And now he's falling by an American man that I always show you. Okay. Okay, more. That's why I had to do this video. I just said, look through pics, just found out. Read April 13th for, I said all this, 4/4 D-Day, all pink, pure virgin, full moon in Virgo, moon on blue star, pink baby blue, pedophile. K is 11, P is 16. KP, so that's 216, which is PB. And it's also Hebrew 11:16, New Shepherd. 16, instead they were longing for a better country, a heavenly one, therefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them, new Christ, Madonna, a shortened form of Catherine. This means pure, and is a wonderful way to honor baby's life. So that's Kate. And Perry originates from English and has the meaning rooted in nature. It is derived from the Old English word pringe, which translates to pear tree. So Perry is the meaning of the dweller at the pear tree. So she was in a capsule called Tortoise, that's Saturn, 13 moons on the tortoise's back. The shell is Venus, Saturn conjunct Venus, Mercury, Ishtar day 24. Mars just entered Cancer, ruled by Moon, Moon on blue star, Spiker, star of harvest, Recult, Tesla, Weaver, Testa d'Urberville, Betty Blue, Jeff Bezos, Boaz jacking pillars. Okay, so all this you will have gone through, and it was the 31st overall flight, so that's your 3113, 13, 11th flight with humans aboard, that's your Aquarius. The flight travelled just above the Kármán line, 33, of course. Been a dream for 15, 16 years. So yeah, she went on the day of the full moon. Give me a break. So yeah, I really don't know much about her. As I say, she's like an enigma for me. So there's your pink or blue, pink, and your Barbie all in pink and blue. That was at the Olympics, all the pink and blue. And there's your contact, pink and blue. And they're holding the two fingers of Jupiter and Mercury and the Sun. The BJ Pillars, Bluebird, new album, Lana Del Rey, Venus, the big blue. So Colbert is that special blue. Betty Blue, I tell you all the time, which is 37 degrees. When I'm 37 in French, the film is called 37 Degrees. And here we are in La La Land. Blue Velvet, that pink and blue, it's pedophile. It's all the other gender, transgender, all the other ones, it's all pink and blue. Paddy Bear, red, blue, next to the pink, blue, all the baby colours. That was on the front of the newspapers for last year's pink moon. So that red, blue, and the green in the middle should be red, blue, is now pink and blue. There's that 37, L, she's got the bell, the ball, feminist, pink, Paris, Texas, the pink and the blue, pink pajamas, and the famous man that found Nicolas Bully wearing the ankh. I mean, what a joke. Coming out of the shell, Miss Piggy, and she's all over Instagram. Piggy being replaced by that World Tarot card passage and the French frog. La Marianne. And this is that true finding the pineal glands, showing us the hourglass, the Kate Perry, his wife died. There's your pear, your Perry, and the Beetlejuice, the pear tree. So it's not complicated. Virgo, girl, and the twins, Mercury merged in one, Estelle and Pip. Oh my goodness, not another one. So another thing. This is Orion World Tarot Trade Center, Venus, Ishtar, 777, Liberty Swingers, 21 Polar Passage, Revolver, Revolution, Russian Roulette, Le Louvre, the new NILE line, Paris, Texas, Chat Cat, Ginger Rose line, Eliza. So yeah, I couldn't do anything about it because I was working. And so I was just trying to throw out stuff, the first things that came to my mind, but then it took me ages to, always it's like it's so in your face that it's everything we've been talking about. So these are just repeating those pictures. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So we had the Pope leaving, and you can see that he's wearing, that is looking very Jesus Christ. So Christopher Robin, the changing of the guards, and you've got the little child, you've got the little boy, dressed in blue. Just like here, we've got the little boy. It's very Damien. Christopher Robin, BP, Buckingham Palace, BP. It's the child. So that wolf, the Rosemary's Baby, the lamb, the thalamus. So I still wasn't aware then of what had happened. So yeah, that's your bear, it's your red and blue, Christopher Robin. And that is the Frenchman, Bernard Pivot, BP, which is just Winnie the Pooh, Christopher the Robin. There is the child, it's Cupid. It's Cupid. Kills the lamb, the thalamus, Aquarius, and Mercury takes the place. The lamb is Aquarius, and Mercury, it sits in the middle of the World Tarot cards as the girl, Virgo, but Mercury, the twins. So Virgo is put in the place of Taurus as Venus is exalted in Pisces, and currently we've got mutual reception, Jupiter that rules Pisces in Taurus and Venus that rules Taurus in Pisces. So it's creating this dirty Diana, Venus and Mercury. Prince is Cancer, the nail clippers, and there he is. Before I knew, this is the Leon, the Noel, this is your new king, your French Merlin on Prince William's birthday. St. Peter, Pierre Stone, Pierre Popeye, and young Jacques, Christopher Robin, the child, Mercury, Damien, Cupid. Peter's Basilic is PB. PB, Paddy Bear, bucking his lamb ham. The wolf will live with the light. So that's the new, what they've got. Changing of guards. Pete, third eye, and Paul, the pole spine. And now it's over to Mr. Beanstalk. Jack in the box. Rome becomes his lamb. Romulus and Remus feed on the lamb. Buckingham Palace, BP, his lamb. Thalamus. Pope Francis, who is taking 2 months rest as he recovers from double pneumonia. Okay, so they're changing the guards at Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. They've great, so blah, blah, blah. You can read that. He's 88 years old. That is the closing of the constellations. And we need 3 8. So PH, Harry Potter. P is 16, 8, 8. And H is 8. When you find perfect harmony, when you find harmonic procession, when you find that perfect harmony pH between acid and alkaline, you have found the 888 passage. Back to the last video that I did, Mork and Mindy, that egg. Yeah, narcissists don't want love, they want attention. If they can't get positive attention, they will take negative attention. If they can't have your admiration, they will accept your rage. But they must provoke some response from you. That is their goal, to provoke a response, any response. It solidifies in their minds their power over you, that they are calling the shots, that you are weak or gullible or easily manipulated or vulnerable or whatever they have labeled you in their mind. That means you are less than them. So it's very good, his little posts. They are bang on. And so the sky, pink and blue in Virginia, the Virgin Virgo. Yeah, there's your V. And there was Miss Jagger. So I'd just done the post, my last video, and Melanie Hamrick, 37, becoming Mrs. Jagger. I doubt she will. It's just too. So darlings, that's it. Again, I'm sorry it's so long, but I had to get that out. I would have liked to show you a couple of other things, but I always regret things I didn't say. I'll put a link of my last newsletter so that you can get the code if you're a newbie. And darlings, I love you very much, and I'll see you soon, baboons. Bye for now.